In the lightless depths of the abyss, where even sound was devoured and heaven's gaze could no longer reach, a strand of thunder was quietly being born. Here, life and death lost their meaning, and all known laws were twisted beyond recognition. Wang Lin stood at the edge of the void, motionless. Yet within his body, something had already changed beyond return. It was no longer the origin soul of a cultivator, but the awakening of divine retribution itself. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. However, the green dragon was completely unaware of what awaited it. The moment it leapt into the abyss, it instantly sensed the terrifying suction force and began to struggle violently. Bolts of lightning erupted from its massive body, arcs of thunder as thick as buckets crashing against the cliff walls. Explosions echoed as large chunks of rock were blasted away from the sides of the pit. The deeper it descended, the more horrifying the suction became. Wrapped in crackling lightning, the green dragon fought desperately, using thunder to resist the pull. Just as it was about to charge back out, its massive head suddenly twisted. Its gaze locked onto Wang Lin, who was carefully controlling his descent along the pit wall beneath it. The dragon let out a furious roar. Abandoning its escape, it turned and charged straight at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression darkened further as he cursed inwardly. This dragon truly did not understand the danger it faced. Even after sensing such a terrifying suction force, it refused to flee. Instead, the moment it saw him, it chose hatred over survival. So much hatred, Wang Lin muttered coldly. He immediately cut off the flow of celestial spiritual energy within his body. In an instant, the suction seized him, yanking him downward. His body sank rapidly, narrowly, causing the green dragon to miss. Enraged, the dragon pursued him without hesitation. One man and one dragon plunged deeper and deeper into the abyss. Wang Lin quickly realized that the suction force below was intensifying at an alarming rate, like a massive storm gathering in the depths. A thunderous roar sounded behind him as the green dragon opened its jaws. A gigantic sphere of lightning condensed and shot toward Wang Lin. The lightning ball surged forward with the might of an entire army, crashing down like divine punishment. Wang Lin's eyes turned icy as he prepared to evade. However, just before reaching him, the lightning ball suddenly halted, then veered downward, deviating from its original trajectory. Wang Lin's expression changed drastically. An unimaginable suction force burst forth from below. Without hesitation, he slapped his bag of holding. 3 swords flew out in a flash, forming a triangular formation as they stabbed deep into the cliff wall, reinforcing one another. Wang Lin tightly gripped one of the swords. At the very moment his hand closed around the hilt, the suction force below erupted violently. The first thing to lose control was the lightning sphere. It was wrenched downward, swallowed instantly by the abyss. Brilliant light flared as the lightning illuminated the lower depths of the pit. Wang Lin looked down and saw nothing but endless darkness, a bottomless void. Soon the light faded and the lightning vanished without a trace. The ancient thunder dragon shuddered. For the first time, fear surfaced in its eyes. It no longer tried to devour Wang Lin. Instead, it frantically struggled upward. It was afraid. Deep within its inherited ancient memories, it had once seen something similar. Letting out a ferocious roar, lightning completely engulfed its body. It managed to resist part of the suction force and forcefully rose nearly 30 feet. Trying to escape, Wang Lin's gaze turned frigid. If not for this thunder dragon, he would never have been forced into this place. If not for its blind pursuit, he would have already escaped. At this distance, there was no longer any possibility for him to rush back out. Stop! Wang Lin roared. The celestial spiritual energy within him surged violently as he activated the celestial stop spell. In the past, even if the thunder dragon were frozen, it would have lasted only an instant. But now this moment was completely different. The thunder dragon's body stiffened. It let out an unwilling, furious roar before being dragged downward by the overwhelming suction, plummeting more than 100 feet. "You won't escape," Wang Lin said coldly. His own body was also being pulled downward. As he sank rapidly, the 3 swords embedded in the wall were forcibly dragged along, carving 3 deep, horrifying gashes into the cliff face. Stop! Wang Lin activated the spell again. The thunder dragon struggled madly, lightning flickering chaotically across its body as it desperately tried to ascend. If Wang Lin were not here, it truly could have escaped. But each time it surged upward, Wang Lin immediately froze it in place. Surrounded by the terrifying suction, no amount of resistance mattered. All the attacks it launched toward Wang Lin were sucked away before they could even approach him. Helpless, it could only stare at Wang Lin in despair as it was dragged deeper into the abyss. At that very moment, the suction force suddenly multiplied several-fold. The terrifying pull became completely berserk. Wang Lin felt as if his arms were about to be torn from his body, yet he clung desperately to the sword. The 3 swords screeched violently against the wall, carving deeper and deeper scars. But the suction was simply too powerful. The buffering effect of the 3 swords rapidly diminished. Sensing imminent danger, Wang Lin gritted his teeth and sent part of his divine sense into his bag of holding. The celestial sword and the half-moon blade shot out instantly, stabbing into the wall beneath his feet. Wang Lin stepped onto them, his body still sinking rapidly. Harsh scraping sounds echoed throughout the abyss as 5 deep gashes were dragged down the cliff wall alongside him. As for the thunder dragon, although it continued to struggle, it fell like a meteor. Its form could no longer hold together, stretching and unraveling into a long stream of green gas. Faint green light shimmered within the gas as it was pulled ever deeper, dimly illuminating the surroundings. "Go down." That strange female voice echoed once more from Wang Lin's bag, whispering directly into his mind. Wang Lin's expression was grim as he looked downward, then suddenly changed. Borrowing the faint green glow, he vaguely saw a shadow protruding horizontally from the cliff wall. As the green light washed over it, the shadow became clear. It was a massive rock formation jutting from the wall, nearly 100 feet wide. Upon its surface, there was a transfer array. Before Wang Lin could examine it more closely, the green light weakened. The rock vanished once more into the darkness. A transfer array. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. Unfortunately, he could not spread out his divine sense, or he would have seen everything clearly. Suddenly, the celestial sword beneath his feet vanished. Moments later, the half-moon blade followed. There's a crack. Ecstasy surged through Wang Lin. Without the slightest hesitation, he swung toward the cliff wall. His body slipped instantly into an opening. As expected, a 10-foot-wide crack split the stone. Wang Lin rushed inside and immediately retrieved all 5 swords at lightning speed. When the Thunder Dragon's soul, now reduced to green mist, saw Wang Lin enter the crack, it struggled violently. The green gas churned and condensed once more into a dragon form. Letting out a furious roar, it charged toward the crack. This time it did not seek to devour Wang Lin, it wanted to escape the suction. It unleashed all the thunder energy within its body, charging recklessly toward the opening. But the suction was simply too overwhelming. Realizing this, the Thunder Dragon's eyes revealed ruthless resolve. Its massive body suddenly split in half. The lower half was instantly dragged into the abyss, while the upper half used that moment to surge toward the crack. Wang Lin's eyes turned icy. Just as relief rose within him, he saw the dragon rushing in. At this moment, a single stop spell would have sealed the dragon's fate. The Thunder Dragon clearly understood this as well. It opened its mouth, preparing to spit out a lightning sphere. If it succeeded, Wang Lin would have nowhere to dodge. Everything depended on who acted faster. But Wang Lin had already seen the dragon sacrifice half its body. More than half of its remaining power was being used merely to resist the suction. This was its weakest moment. Wang Lin clenched his teeth. Without hesitation, he closed his eyes. His origin soul burst forth. Just as the Thunder Dragon entered the crack and was about to unleash its attack, Wang Lin's origin soul devoured it whole. Wang Lin had once been a soul devourer capable of consuming any soul under heaven. Though he rarely used this technique now, in this instant, his origin soul expanded dramatically. The Thunder Dragon was utterly stunned. After devouring the ancient Thunder Dragon's soul, Wang Lin's origin soul returned to his body. Immediately, a violent explosion erupted within his soul. Even with only half its spirit body, the ancient Thunder Dragon's power was still unimaginable. Wang Lin activated the Soul Devourer technique, rapidly refining and absorbing it. Thunder roared inside and outside his origin soul, lightning coursing with overwhelming might. It even penetrated his flesh and bones. Within the crack, the suction force weakened greatly. Wang Lin focused entirely on absorbing the Thunder Dragon. His origin soul continued to grow not in quantity, but in quality. Lightning surrounded his origin like a sea of thunder. An ancient Thunder Dragon coiled within it like veins of lightning, its expression twisted in agony, ferocity flickering across its face. Countless strands extended from the dragon, spreading to every corner of Wang Lin's origin soul. The Thunder Dragon's power was transforming his origin in a mysterious, profound way. Even someone like the All-Seer would never dare to devour an ancient Thunder Dragon. These beings were not ordinary ancient beasts. Legends said they were born from thunder itself, favored by the heavens, and had once ruled the power of lightning. Devouring such a dragon was akin to devouring an entire sky of thunder. How could a cultivator's origin soul possibly endure this? Yet beyond peril lay boundless opportunity. As thunder gathered within Wang Lin's body, a trace of true thunder was born within his origin soul. His origin entered an unprecedented state, undergoing a world-shaking transformation. Though this change might not immediately increase his cultivation, it opened limitless paths for his future. An origin soul that contained thunder. Even the All-Seer had never witnessed such a thing. But the Thunder Dragon had not yet surrendered. Within Wang Lin's origin soul, it struggled fiercely, launching its final counterattack. Wang Lin's body and hair slowly lifted into the air as if guided by an unseen, mysterious force. Arcs of lightning burst from his body, scattering wildly before crashing into the cliff walls. His origin soul was completely saturated with thunder and lightning roaring endlessly within. The ancient Thunder Dragon was unwilling to submit, turning the devouring process into a perilous struggle. It thrashed violently, and the more fiercely it resisted, the more terrifying the lightning it released became. That overwhelming thunder pushed Wang Lin's origin soul to the brink of collapse. If not for his iron-like will and stubborn perseverance, any ordinary cultivator's origin soul would have long since shattered. Suddenly, Wang Lin's origin soul opened its tightly shut eyes. A blinding flash of lightning burst forth from them, as though he himself had become the ancient Thunder Dragon. In that instant, Wang Lin sensed extreme danger. If his origin soul remained within his physical body any longer, the raging lightning would inevitably spread to his flesh, leading directly to death. Without the slightest hesitation, his origin soul shot out of his body. A decisive gleam flashed across Wang Lin's eyes. He reached directly into his own origin soul and seized hold of the Thunder Dragon, forcibly tearing out a small portion of it. The Thunder Dragon let out a furious roar. Lightning erupted violently from Wang Lin's origin soul, striking the surrounding cliff walls with deafening crackles. Clutching that fragment of the Thunder Dragon, Wang Lin's gaze turned icy. His left hand moved rapidly, forming layer upon layer of restrictions that slammed onto the captured portion. Once finished, he reached back into his origin soul, seized another segment and sealed it in the same manner. With these external restrictions reinforcing his origin soul, the cycle of sealing and devouring continued. Time passed without measure. Gradually, Wang Lin became fully immersed in the fusion process, completely oblivious to the outside world. His physical body slowly lost its luster, drying up inch by inch. Yet it did not perish. Instead, it entered a state of suspended animation, preserving the final trace of vitality within. Days turned into months. Months became years. On this day, the Thunder Dragon within Wang Lin's origin soul no longer struggled as violently, yet it still resisted. Countless restrictions flashed upon its body, overlapping and intertwining until they formed a complete dragon-sealing formation. Over the years, Wang Lin's origin soul had steadily shrunk. Now it stood only 3 feet tall, no larger than a nascent soul. Yet despite its reduced size, it radiated overwhelming thunderous might. No longer crystal clear, it was instead filled with endless lightning, as though countless silver serpents slithered ceaselessly within. Wang Lin slowly opened his eyes. Thunder rumbled throughout the abyss. Two beams of lightning burst from his eyes like twin thunder dragons, vanishing into the darkness. His origin soul moved, appearing beside his physical body. When Wang Lin looked down at himself, lightning flickered across his gaze, radiating an aura of cold indifference. All the muscles on his body had completely withered. At this moment, he resembled nothing more than a sack of bones. If not for the faint sliver of vitality flickering between his eyebrows, this body would already be nothing but a corpse. His origin soul hovered above the body, then slowly descended. As it attempted to re-enter, Wang Lin felt a barrier blocking the way. Fortunately, after a brief pause, the barrier dissipated, allowing him to merge back into his flesh. In an instant, lightning surged through his entire body. Muscle and flesh regenerated at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, Wang Lin returned to his original appearance, only slightly thinner than before. He exhaled deeply. The foul air he expelled was grey and laced with crackling lightning. His eyes shone brilliantly like bolts tearing across the heavens as he fell into deep contemplation. This journey was extremely dangerous, yet the harvest far exceeds my imagination. Whether this is fortune or calamity, I cannot yet say, Wang Lin murmured. My origin soul has completely transformed. Now, it feels more like a bolt of divine retribution lightning. His thoughts grew heavier. Raising his head, Wang Lin looked toward the darkness beyond the crack. An origin soul transformed into lightning. Interesting. Now anyone who wishes to destroy my origin soul would be attempting to destroy divine retribution itself. He raised his right hand. Lightning gathered rapidly, condensing into a crackling sphere. Explosive sounds echoed within it, clearly unstable. Moments later, the lightning ball collapsed. Wang Lin's eyes flashed. He opened his mouth and swallowed it. A faint flush appeared on his face before quickly fading back to normal. However, what exactly has my origin soul become? Confusion filled Wang Lin's eyes. He had never imagined that devouring merely half of the Thunder Dragon could cause such a bizarre transformation. He had only absorbed 1/5 of its essence. The remaining 4/5 remained sealed within his origin soul. After pondering briefly, Wang Lin tested his spells one by one. All of them functioned normally, including the underworld river. Only then did he finally exhale in relief. Yet almost immediately he sensed something different. On the surface, his spells appeared unchanged. But upon closer inspection, every technique now carried a trace of thunder. A terrifyingly powerful strand of thunder. Wang Lin frowned. The increased strength was undoubtedly beneficial. Moreover, this enhancement was not minor. With his current spells, he could already stand among the strongest of mid-stage ascendant cultivators. Combined with his magical treasures, even late-stage ascendant cultivators would not be beyond his reach. And yet, something felt wrong, as if something crucial had been forgotten. He pondered for a long time, but the uneasy feeling remained. Rising to his feet, Wang Lin walked toward the exit of the crack. Outside, absolute darkness reigned, accompanied by the howling suction force that sounded like countless wailing ghosts. The closer he approached, the louder and more oppressive the sound became. The moment he looked beyond the crack, lightning flashed through his mind. Suddenly he understood. Why was there a barrier when my origin soul returned to my body? Wang Lin's expression turned extremely grim. The scattered devil was still sealed within his origin soul. It could not have possessed him. Nor did it appear that his origin soul had been stolen. It seems the problem lies with my origin soul itself. Wang Lin attempted to send his origin soul out once more. His expression changed instantly. My origin soul can't leave my body. He immediately retreated a few steps and sat down cross-legged. After several attempts, he opened his eyes once more. He did not panic. Instead, he calmly analyzed the situation. It's that barrier again, blocking my origin soul from leaving. Could this be the price of mutation? Wang Lin took a deep breath. Forget it. No point dwelling on it for now. His gaze sharpened. Let's examine this token. What kind of spell could condense itself from mist alone? He slapped his bag of holding. A purple token appeared in his hand. The token was entirely purple, with a faint trace of golden lightning flowing within it, resembling a fragment of refined purple gold. Yet when touched, it carried neither the texture of wood nor that of metal, feeling strangely unfamiliar beneath the fingers. The universe was simply too vast, no one could possibly recognize every material that existed within it. Wang Lin did not dwell on the composition of the token. Instead, he carefully examined its appearance. Broken runes covered its surface, incomplete and worn. After hesitating briefly, Wang Lin extended his divine sense into the token, his expression quickly turning strange. Storage. Inside the token existed a unique spatial pocket. Though it was filled entirely with purple mist, it was unmistakably a storage-type treasure. There was only a single object within. A sword. It was not a celestial sword, but one of the 12 swords. After a moment of contemplation, Wang Lin deduced its origin. This sword must have belonged to the final Dalu sword sect disciple who had been trapped within the mist. For reasons unknown, when that disciple was sacrificed to form the token, the sword had been absorbed along with him. With a thought, the sword flew out and embedded itself into the ground beside Wang Lin. After thoroughly inspecting the interior of the token, Wang Lin withdrew his divine sense. He stared at the purple token deep in thought. Other than its material, there is nothing remarkable about this token. If I hadn't personally witnessed it condense from the mist, it would be impossible to imagine that something like this is what figures such as the all-seer Ling Tianhou and the blood ancestor are willing to fight over. This token is the key to opening the cave. Only after opening the 4 fake caves can the final door be revealed. According to Yao Shixue, the all-seer and the others do not even know that a 4th fake cave exists. But the blood ancestor does. Qianlong and Greed both know that I obtained the token. However, Qianlong did not see everything. If I were him, I would assume that Greed was the one who ultimately took it. Wang Lin took a deep breath and withdrew his gaze. Looking out from the crack into the pitch-black abyss, a bitter smile appeared on his face. Even if I obtained the token, what use is it if I'm trapped here unable to escape? He muttered. There's no need to even attempt teleportation. If even someone as cunning as Greed never tried, it's clearly impossible. I just don't know whether I can enter the cave from here. His eyes narrowed as he reached into his bag of holding and retrieved a crystal. After a long time, Wang Lin let out a sigh and laughed bitterly. I can't activate it. He pondered briefly, then glanced around. The crack was not large, only several dozen feet wide. Everything within could be seen at a glance. Soon after, he stood and approached the entrance. The suction force outside never ceased. The moment he stepped closer, he felt it clearly tugging at his body, even showing signs of dragging him outward. Wang Lin stepped back, his eyes flickering with thought. I wonder how the mosquito beast is doing now, and how the battle between Senior Zhou Yi and Greed turned out. He paused, but even if Zhou Yi won, he still wouldn't know where I am. Even his sword Divine Sense can't reach this place. He raised his gaze to the wall and attempted to use the Earth Escape technique. The moment his body touched the stone, it was blocked. After pondering briefly, Wang Lin landed and slapped his bag of holding. He took out the soul flag, extracted a soul and hurled it toward the wall, watching carefully. The soul drifted into the wall like a wisp of smoke, but instantly a miserable scream echoed in Wang Lin's mind. The soul was torn apart and immediately dragged downward by the terrifying suction force. A dangerous spot. The bitterness in Wang Lin's eyes deepened. He sighed and sat down, cross-legged, his expression gloomy. After a short while, he reached into his bag of holding again. 3 swords, a severed arm, and a skull flew out and landed before him. The 3 swords belonged to the 12 swords. Together with the swords stored in the token, they corresponded to the snake, horse, chicken, and dog. At present, Wang Lin possessed 7 of the 12 swords. The 3-sword formation also flew out and settled beside him. Wang Lin waved his right hand, and the 7 swords immediately began to orbit around him. He opened his mouth and spat out a stream of origin energy which wrapped around the blades. Within that origin energy was an additional strand of thunder. The moment it touched the swords, lightning raced along their surfaces. The 7 swords became linked by arcs of lightning, forming a mysterious and profound sword formation. 7 swords can form the 7-star sword formation, Wang Lin murmured. With thunder linking them, its power increases by 30%. With that, he withdrew his attention. The swords would refine themselves under his origin energy. He then turned toward the severed arm and skull. Within them were sealed both the owner's origin soul and Ling Tianhu's sword energy. Wang Lin was extremely experienced in refining souls and extracting sword energy. With only 2 mouthfuls of origin energy, he extracted Ling Tianhu's sword energy and devoured it. Normally, devouring Ling Tianhu's sword energy would cause waves of intense pain within his origin soul, requiring time to recover. But now, after devouring 2 sword energies consecutively, not only did his origin soul feel no discomfort, it actually felt comfortable. After checking carefully and finding nothing abnormal, Wang Lin gave a self-mocking smile. Can this still be considered an origin soul? He reached into his bag of holding once more and took out a sphere of restrictions. The small sphere expanded as it emerged, and by the time it landed on the ground, it was already 5 feet tall. Countless restrictions flickered across its surface. Wang Lin formed a seal with his right hand and pointed at it. The restriction sphere split open like a blooming flower, revealing a handsome man inside. It was Du Jian from the Red Division. His eyes were closed, his complexion pale. As the restrictions vanished, he slowly opened his eyes and stared at Wang Lin. Only after a long moment did the emptiness in his gaze gradually recede. However, after examining himself, his expression changed drastically. His origin soul was sealed. At this moment, he was no different from a mortal. Wang Lin spoke calmly, his voice devoid of emotion. "Senior brother Du, you can now tell me Master's secret." Du Jian revealed a bitter smile. He looked at Wang Lin with a complicated expression. After a long silence, he said, "Even if I speak, I'm afraid I won't escape death." Wang Lin's gaze swept over him. A faint trace of lightning flickered in his eyes and shot directly into Du Jian's pupils. Du Jian's mind trembled violently. He pointed at Wang Lin, his voice shaking. Your eyes." Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and said calmly, "Senior brother Du, my patience is limited." It was as though Du Jian hadn't heard him at all. His eyes were filled with shock and disbelief, still unable to recover from that gaze. Du Jian had encountered countless cultivators and had even seen many powerful ones. He had seen lightning within cultivators' eyes before, but that lightning was formed from spells. It could never compare to the lightning of the heavens. What he had felt just now was as though he were standing beneath an endless sky, staring up at a descending thunderbolt, utter helplessness before heavenly might. Wang Lin frowned. He no longer wished to waste time. He grabbed Du Jian and dragged him toward the entrance of the crack. As they neared the opening, Du Jian felt the horrifying suction force. Even with his cultivation, he felt as though his origin soul was about to be torn from his body. Terror overwhelmed him. "Speak," Wang Lin said, "only one word." Du Jian's face turned deathly pale. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he dragged him even closer to the opening. Suddenly, the suction force intensified tenfold. At that moment, Du Jian's origin soul was forcibly pulled out of his body. No matter how violently it struggled, it was still slowly being dragged away. Du Jian screamed in terror, "I'll speak. I'll speak." Wang Lin pulled him back, tossed him aside, and stared coldly at him. Du Jian trembled as his origin soul slowly returned to his body. Fear filled his eyes as he said, "I'll tell you everything I know, but you must promise not to kill me." Wang Lin replied calmly, "It's possible not to kill you. I still have uses for you." Du Jian took a deep breath, his expression complex. "Swear on your Tao." Wang Lin frowned. His gaze turned cold as he slowly raised his right hand, clearly about to throw Du Jian back toward the opening. Du Jian's body trembled violently. He blurted out, "I saw Master devour Sun Yun." Wang Lin's eyes shone brilliantly as he silently stared at him. "I didn't see it personally," Du Jian said quickly. "But a mountain goblin did. After I entered the Heavenly Fate sect, I cultivated a technique that allowed me to absorb spiritual energy from beasts. I was in the back mountains when I encountered a mountain goblin near the end of its lifespan. As I absorbed its spiritual energy, I somehow extracted fragments of its memories. There was one scene very old, in which Master devoured Sun Yun. Wang Lin was shaken. Du Jian continued urgently. In that memory, Sun Yun and Master fought fiercely. In the end, Master used a devouring spell on Sun Yun and then left. This secret had been buried deep in his heart. When he first saw that memory, shock and fear overwhelmed him. From that day onward, his reverence and terror toward the All-Seer had only deepened. This was the first time he had ever spoken of it. Wang Lin asked quietly, "What was Master's expression at the time?" Du Jian hesitated, recalling carefully. It seemed regretful. "Yes, regret." After a pause, his expression changed slightly. But there was something strange. In that memory, Master was wearing grey. I've never seen Master wear grey before. Wang Lin's eyes burned even brighter. He stared at Du Jian and spoke each word slowly and clearly. "Are you certain? It was a grey robe." Du Jian nodded firmly. "Yes, it was a grey robe." That's all for today's content. See you in the next part. Support me by becoming a member. It will give me more motivation. Thank you so much.